I thought everything was on the up after a good win against the Georgia Bulldogs, but last time out the Gamecocks lost to the Texas A&M Aggies, and Spencer Rattler put up a terrible performance. If you guys missed that one, I suggest that you go and see it, because that will explain at least a little bit why we have Luke Doty starting today. Spencer Rattler had 4 interceptions in the first half last week. He didn't even play at all until the very end of the game again when Luke Doty went down with an injury, but they come out here still ranked number 12 despite being 2-2. Both of their losses have come to against very, very good ranked teams at this point, with the Aggies who are on the come up and the North Carolina Tar Heels, but it's just not a good position to be in. The Gamecocks were expecting better, I would say, coming into the season, and to be down to 2-2 now is a very, very low blow for this Gamecocks team as a whole. And coming back to Williams-Brice is a little more important than it shows, because hopefully we can get back into friendly territory, and hopefully we can take on the Kentucky Wildcats. It's going to be a tough one, but I do have faith that the Gamecocks can pull through. As you see, the stadium is full here in Williams-Brice Stadium, and the Wildcats are taking the field first. They are trying to recover from a bad season, but also from losing Will Levis, and they're going to have their replacement, Deuce Hogan, is going to hand it off to Lavelle Wright, and he has got a nice 8-yard gain there on their first drive, or first play of the day for the Wildcats. Hogan on the shotgun is going to take the snap and fire to the right side. This time he's got Lavelle Wright on the wheel route, and Marcellus Dial pushes him out, or right around the sidelines there, after about 37 yards on the first pass of the day. There's Deuce Hogan. Didn't see the field last year because Will Levis was on the roster still, but this Wildcats team is not one to play around with. Deuce Hogan can sling the ball when they need him to, and as you can see there in the first 2 plays, Lavelle Wright is a very, very threatening running back as they go to a 2nd and 10 later on the same drive. Hogan is under center this time. He's going to give it to Lavelle Wright, who's going to break to the outside, pushed around at the 10, and Mo Kaba is going to force him out of bounds. So now they face a 3rd and 6. Deuce Hogan out of the shotgun wants to throw to the air, and it kind of goes in between 2 receivers. And that one's going to fall harmlessly to the ground as the Wildcats settle for a field goal here on their opening drive. A little disappointing after how quickly they got down the field, but the Gamecocks defense stepped up that time as they're able to get the stop. Now 2nd and 10 for Doty's 2nd throw of the day. Falls incomplete. He missed his man by about 3 yards. So the Gamecocks now face a 3rd and 10. It's going to be a play action as Doty rolls around, fires into coverage, and that one should have been picked off, and that would have been, man, the 5th interception in 2 weeks for this Gamecocks offense if that one went down. But instead, the Wildcats offense will get another crack at it, and on 1st and 10, Lavelle Wright is going to break a tackle on the screen, and he's got 19 more through the air, and they are very much showing what their plan is. They are trying to get him in the open field, get him to make some plays. Usually Alex Huntley is a very sure-handed tackler, but that time the lineman was out of his element, trying to get up the field and tackle the running back. So now 3rd and 7 for the Wildcats. Hogan wants to go to the air outside, and he's got his man Key, and he's going to fall down. Dane Key being covered by Cam Smith, who has showed struggles this year. As much as we would love for him to be a top first-round draft pick at the cornerback position, Lavelle Wright out to the 5 and down to about the 3 as he interrupts my commentary. 1st and goal now, Hogan under center. Hogan is going to take the snap, and it's slung forward. I mean, I'm not sure what that was, but it's an incomplete pass. Now Hogan on 2nd and goal is going to go to the right side, and he's got his feet down. Jeremy Johnson with the 3-yard touchdown. Deuce Hogan completes another excellent drive for the Wildcats as they go up 10-0 now. 1st and 10. Doty out of the shotgun, rolling into coverage, and Jaheim Bell, 17 yards. That one split the defenders. I can't understand why he threw it, but it ended up working at the end of the day. Now 3rd and 7. He's going to go to Sampson, who breaks into the open field at the 30 and tries to swing around the defender. Doesn't have a lot of space to work with now. 1st and 10. Doty wants to go to Lloyd, who cuts it back on the inside zone, and he's brought down from behind. Big run there for the Gamecocks. Now 1st and goal later on the same drive. Doty gives it to Lloyd right down the middle, and he's got a touchdown for the Gamecocks. 7 yards right up the gut of the defense, and Marshawn Lloyd, what a great start to this drive. They struggled to get something going on that first drive, And on the second one, they are a lot better on that offensive side of the ball, as Harris has got it on the nice crossing route. He's got a lot of room out to the 50, out to the 45, and down to about the 43.5 as Deuce Hogan makes an excellent read on the bootleg. Now 3rd and 10. Hogan fakes the pass. Pump faking again. Steps into the pocket. Firing. Upshaw. Touchdown Wildcats. Debo Williams in coverage, but number 88 Keaton Upshaw beats him at the last second. And the Wildcats offense continues to impress in this first half as Luke Doty on the read option, basically a triple option there. That is one thing he can bring to this game that Spencer Rattler doesn't bring at all. Luke Doty is a very, very capable runner, but on 3rd and 9, that's not going to help him as he is sacked. Broke away from the first one. The rest of the cavalry gets there, and that'll take us into the second quarter, down 17-7. And the Wildcats have a 2nd and 5 for Deuce Hogan and company as he sends a man in motion. Hogan under center, but instead he wants to throw, decides to run for it, and he is lit up. He stays on the first down, and he keeps the ball in the Wildcats' possession. Mo Kaba in coverage this time. It's going to be a handoff to Lavelle Wright. Got a lot of room up the right side, no pun intended. 2nd and inches now for this Wildcats offense as Hogan's in the backfield. He's got another running back now in the game beside him. This one's going to be McLean. McLean's not going to get it instead. Hogan wants to run, and he's sacked. Kind of got stuffed up there on the right side. He tried to get through, but the Wildcats' offensive line was not good enough. Now 3rd and 4. Hogan wants to go to the air. It's a screen pass. Great blocking up the right side. And Mo Kaba finally makes the tackle. Lavelle Wright down to about the 19-yard line or the 21-yard line. And they're going to go to McLean on the outside, who breaks the tackle into the open field down to the 5. Anthony Rose and Marcellus Dial. Jatan McLean in a 19-yard run as the Wildcats get it on a goal line stand now. 2nd and goal. Lavelle Wright breaking tackles, and he's in. 3 yards out. Lavelle Wright with his 2nd touchdown of the day as the Wildcats strike again, and they go up 24-7 now as Luke Doty loses 4 on that last read option. It's going to be a 2nd and 14. He's rolling around, firing to the middle of the field. Juice Wells, nice 19-yard catch and run there for the big man at the receiver position. Now 1st and 10, Doty is going to fumble it. Picked up by the defensive lineman. I was hoping it would be considered an incomplete pass, but the referees aren't going to review it. Luke Doty puts it on the ground, and now the Wildcats up 24-7. Have a wide open man, Keaton Upshaw, into the end zone. 23 yards for the Wildcats, and they strike again. Man, Deuce Hogan with his 3rd touchdown of the half, and the Gamecocks have to get something going before halftime. Doty on 2nd and 9, fires at the last second, and Jaheim Bell has to turn around and reach back for it, but he's able to make a nice catch now. 1st and 10. Doty into coverage, but Landon Sampson, the sure-handed slot receiver, is able to make the catch. Now 1st and 10, right over a minute or 3 minutes and counting. Doty steps into the pocket and fires deep downfield to Sampson, to the 10, to the 5, and he is brought down at about the 2-yard line. The Gamecocks have a lot of room. They need to claw back into this game, and that can start right here with a touchdown on a 1st and goal. And about 3:04 remaining for the Gamecocks as Landon Sampson made an excellent play to get open, and they will finish the drive off as Marshawn Lloyd is held up for a second, but the second effort gets them in the end zone, and the Gamecocks bring it back down to a 31-14 game. And Deuce Hogan on 2nd and 6 for the Wildcats' next possession falls forward for about 3 yards now. 3rd and 3. They're going to go with the 5 wideout set. Hogan goes to the air, wide open man Magwood, and Chauncey Magwood's got a 9-yard catch and run right up the sidelines out of bounds on the double move. Now 3rd and 10 for the same possession, though. Hogan wants to throw, and he's lit up. He gets hit and hit hard. He's going to lose 7, but nothing would happen the rest of that half. Luke Doty and the offense struggled to start the day. 31-14 as we head into halftime. The 12th-ranked Gamecocks are in jeopardy of losing their 2nd straight game and their 3rd game of the season. They only lost 3 all season last year, so a 3rd one already would be Very, very detrimental. Now 1st and 10 after the excellent Marshawn Lloyd run. Marshawn is going to get it again up the right side, or the left side, excuse me. And he's got it out past the 40. About a 27-yard run there for Marshawn Lloyd. Now 3rd and 7. Doty is going to miss his man, Carrington Valentine, in coverage. He had Juice Wells open. I thought it was going to be complete for a second. Now Doty's going to go for it on 4th and 7. Run it himself, and he doesn't fumble this time. Thankfully, he doesn't fumble. He has fumbled it a few times before. Now 3rd and 16 on the same possession. Doty's going to go to Sampson, who breaks the tackle and rumbles forward, falls, and they give him the 1st down. He needed 16. He got 17. As the Gamecocks are in business again. 2nd and 4. Doty out of the shotgun. Nowhere to go. All kinds of pressure, and he's taken down again. Last time they needed 16. This time they need 17 on 3rd down. Doty out of the shotgun all alone. Wants to go to the air. Fires outside, and it's incomplete. Andre Phillips in coverage. And Mitch Jeter is going to shank it. Oh, my goodness. Wide left for the kicker. His struggles continue as the Gamecocks trying to get another stop on Chauncey Magwood on the wide receiver screen. Has got a lot of room to run, and that'll give them 16 yards. Now Deuce Hogan's going to hand it off to Lavelle. Right, Anthony Rhodes takes a bad angle, and another 1st down for the Wildcats. 3rd and 4 now. Deuce Hogan in the shotgun formation. He's got right beside him, and he's going to hand it off to him again. And he gets another 1st down. They cannot get off the field. 3rd and 9 now. If they allow this, you might as well quit the game. Jawan McClain is going to take it, and he just can't get it. Jaton McClain, excuse me. Finally, the Wildcats settle for a field goal. 2nd and 4 on the next Gamecocks possession. Doty finds Sampson across the middle. Cuts back into the middle of the field. Probably should have stayed on the sidelines. But they are going to get a very big gain now on 4th and inches. Marshawn Lloyd rumbles on the left side. An I formation and a 7-yard run. Hurry up offense now. Doty, final play of the 3rd. Wants to go to the air. Fires to Carroll, and he's got it. Lavosa Carroll, the freshman turned sophomore. I guess I should say redshirt sophomore after last season, is going to get his first touchdown in a Gamecocks uniform, and it's through the air as Deuce Hogan gets taken down in the backfield on that one. He loses 2. Mo Kaba met him on the read option, and there's Cam Smith there as well. Jordan Birch came back in from the inside and brought him down to finalize the sack. Now on a 2nd and 12. Hogan wants to run it again. He's got some space on the right side. He's got a 1st down as he just barrels over 2 of our defenders, Marcellus Dial and David Spalding, who has fallen off the face of the planet. Now 3rd and 7. They're going to give it to Key, and Dane Key's got 9 yards on that one as this Wildcats offense continues to produce. But on a 2nd and 10, he is not going anywhere as Johnson brings him down. Deuce Hogan needs a miracle here on 3rd and 16, up by 14. Takes the snap. All alone, fires outside, and he is nowhere near the 1st down. So the Gamecocks get the ball back with about 5 minutes remaining as Juice Wells on the very, very long pass to the right side across the entire field, basically. And Marshawn Lloyd's going to break a tackle on 2nd and inches. He rumbles back up the middle. He had an 8-yard run. I saw a glimpse of the end zone there. They're going to give it back to him again on the next play, and he's got 9 more. Very productive night for Marshawn now on 2nd and 1. He bounces off another defender. He's got another 1st down, so they don't have a lot of time. But they are still going to the ground game. This time the screen pass is a 1st and 10. Juju McDowell is going to be brought down, and now a 3rd and 13. Doty all alone. Steps back, fires to the freshman Dobzinski, and he's got it. Chris Dobzinski with the wide open double move on the post route. And he's got his first touchdown and his first catch as a Gamecock. Imagine winning this game because of that. And on a 2nd and 12, the Wildcats offense does not stop moving. Jaton McClain with a 24-yard run. Could have been a 3rd and long, but they missed the tackle. Now it's a 1st and 10 as Hogan goes deep down the field. Dane Key catches it. David Spalding went for the interception instead of the tackle. and he allowed the catch and run, and now 3rd and 4, Jaton McClain later on that same drive as the Wildcats can essentially ice this one with the field goal. He's 2 for 2, and it was a good hold by Kaya Sharon, and he has got the field goal right down the middle. So the Gamecocks have a minute to try and come back from down 10. 3rd and 10 to start the drive. Doty is almost intercepted to end it by Zion Childress, and it is not looking that great for the Gamecocks. Doty now is going to fire underneath Quentin Beck on 4th and 10. 12 yards as some guys that have not played all year are getting a good amount of minutes on this Gamecocks roster. Now 2nd and 10. Doty fires across, and it's a thread right there up the right sideline, and Juice Wells has got the catch now. 2nd and 10. Doty to the end zone, and it's caught. Juice Wells leaps up in the air and extends to grab that one, and the previous one went over his head, and this is all. This is everything. The onside kick is recovered by the Wildcats, and the Gamecocks have fallen for the 2nd straight week as DeMarcus Harris ends it with the recovery, and your South Carolina Gamecocks fall to 2-3 on the season. 37-34 is the final. I mean, just like last week, you're not going to win very often if you have a terrible start. And as far as starts can go, I think we've had our 2 worst starts we can ever have. I mean, going down 31-7 at one point was not in the game plan, but the Gamecocks found a way to do it. And as you can see, I mean, yardage-wise, it was fairly close. We actually beat them in total yardage. It was a very, very even matchup overall. I mean, we had the 2 turnovers, which really hurt us there. One of them didn't. I don't even think you guys saw one of the turnovers in the highlights. It was right before halftime. Luke Doty fumbled it again. But you saw the first turnover, which turned into a touchdown and put us down 31-7. So there's a lot of bad things you can take away from this game. Luke Doty is not one of them. 20 of 37, 349 yards, 3 touchdowns. Rushing-wise, Marshawn Lloyd was excellent. 14 for 115 and 2 touchdowns. Luke Doty, basically all I can complain about with him is how much he got sacked. Does it show you that down here? I don't know if it does. But the guy got sacked 5 times, and he just did not have a good day in the pocket. Every time he looked up, there was somebody in his face. He tried to run, and he just couldn't get out of the pocket. Juice Wells, 5 for 97 and a touchdown, finally coming along a little bit. Landon Sampson, I was impressed with. He deserved a touchdown, but he just wasn't able to get in. He had a 5 for 137, no touchdowns, as I said. Jaheim Bell, 2 for 27. Lavosa Carroll added a touchdown there with 2 catches for 18 yards. Chris Dobzinski, the freshman, 1 catch, 1 touchdown. He is in for a good career here at South Carolina. Defensively, Mo Kaba led the way with 9 tackles, 8 of them solo, 3 for loss. 2 sacks for Alex Huntley down here, 1 for Tonka Hemingway, and 1 for Trey Sanders and Kieron Johnson down here as well. Mitch Jeter didn't know it at the time, but he missed the potential game-tying field goal in the first half. I mean, how often does that happen? I don't think that happens very often, that you say a guy missed a field goal that could have basically sent this game to overtime and completely changed it in the first half, but that's exactly what happened. And as you can see, it really did affect the top 25 polls. This last week as a whole did. I'm just going to fly through them here. Alabama, Oklahoma, Ohio State, Miami, Oregon State, Washington, Georgia, Texas A&M, East Carolina, Florida, and that rounds out the 10. Now 11 through 20, we have North Carolina, Utah, Michigan State, Syracuse, Houston, USC, Texas, Arkansas, Auburn, Wisconsin, and then 21 through 25 is Baylor, us, Kansas, Michigan, and Notre Dame. 3 new teams to the top 25, Auburn, Wisconsin, and Michigan, and a few teams dropped out. Alabama, Birmingham, TCU, and Louisiana State, also known as LSU. I don't know why I called them Louisiana State. Conference standings, not great as they should be, but we are 3rd now. We still got to play Florida, so that could be a win. We could beat them out of the conference. Georgia's going to be a tough one. We beat Georgia, so if we're tied with them, we have the tiebreaker. But right now we're behind them. We need them to lose another game. They still have to play Florida and Auburn, 2 top 25 teams. They still have to play a few other decent teams that I have faith in. But as of right now, it's going to be tough to climb over both of these teams, just like last year. And doesn't help that right now through 5 weeks, we have the same amount of losses as we did all last year with 3 losses already. 2 in a row is even worse for me, in my opinion. And before I clock out here, let's go through the top 25 games. Oklahoma won the Red River Showdown. They took down the Longhorns 29-27. Syracuse beat up on Duke 34-21. Wisconsin upset at the time. Wisconsin upsets Michigan State 33-27. They have themselves a decent game. Graham Mertz with 3 touchdowns, not a single interception there. A good, impressive showing for the Badgers there, and they were able to get the win. It came down to the wire. Michigan State actually ended the game on 2 field goals, but they just did not get the ball back to score. USC takes down Arizona State by 10. Houston takes down the Jayhawks in overtime by a touchdown. Kansas and Jalen Daniels had 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. But Houston's quarterback Edwards threw for 5 touchdowns, not a single interception. I mean, that's a recipe for success there. Arkansas, who we will play next week, takes down Coastal Carolina, who has had a very rough season. They are 0-5 so far, which is crazy because they were ranked last year. That's a big fall from grace. North Carolina takes down Notre Dame, a tight matchup there as both of them North Carolina gets their 4th win. Notre Dame gets their 2nd loss. Miami takes down Boston College 37-21. Florida, tight matchup as both of these teams are 4-1 now, but they were able to take down the Tigers there. LSU. Georgia takes down Tennessee 38-24. East Carolina takes down UTEP 49-28. Auburn 49 points on Baylor as they beat them by 7 points. Michigan beats up on Minnesota. Texas A&M beats SMU by about 6. They are now number 8 in the country. They are 6-0. Utah takes down Oregon in a very close game there. 7 points is your final. And Oregon State takes down Stanford 38-28 as they climb as high as number 5 right now. The Beavers are on a roll. And that is going to do it for our look around the country. As far as recruiting goes, no good news right now. No bad news either, I guess you could say. Nobody's really committed that we wanted. So it's kind of disappointing, but we haven't lost a ton of people. There's a few guys that I wanted definitely that we have lost on, but unfortunately, you just kind of got to move on and look for the rest of the guys that you're going after. Like Josh Brown, we're now down 1,000 on him. We have a visit coming up, but I'm contemplating giving the points to somebody else. We're just going to have to see how it folds. And as I mentioned earlier, next week we take on the 18th ranked Razorbacks. Now, don't let it fool you. They are 3-2, but they haven't beat a good team yet. Northern Illinois, they beat by 21. They beat Vanderbilt by 35-18. Lose to their only competent teams on their schedule in Missouri and Texas A&M. And they dominate Coastal Carolina, who's 5-0. Or 0-5. So this is not a definite loss. This is not a definite win. This Arkansas team, you don't really know what to expect from them. They have a winning record. They've won the games they should won. They've lost the games they should have won or competed in, but you've still got to play them the way that you play every other team, and we've got to get this offense going a lot earlier than we did basically the last 2 weeks against Texas A&M and Kentucky as a whole. But that's where I'm going to end this episode anyways, guys. If you enjoyed this series, hit the like button and subscribe. It allows you to stay up to date with this series, but it also helps me out and sees that you guys are interested in this content. As always, comment down below any thoughts you have, any suggestions. It helps me out so much when you guys communicate with me, when you interact with the video, and it helps me out and it helps my videos do better as well. And I will see you guys next episode.